Hey everyone, it's Miss Smallman and welcome to 21st Century Virtual Summer Camp. I am so excited you are joining me today to learn about some poetry. You just listened to a read aloud story called Soup for Breakfast, and it was full of different types of poems. There were some that rhymed, there were some that didn't rhyme. There were some that were super silly and didn't make a whole bunch of sense, and there were others that told more of a story. What we're going to do today is we're going to learn about two different types of poems and dig in a little deeper with both of those. But first, before we get started, how can we not talk about eating soup for breakfast? That is not my favorite way to start the day. I listened to that poem and I was thinking, who wants to have cream of broccoli soup? Do any of you guys want cream of broccoli soup for breakfast? I mean, broccoli is one of my favorite vegetables, but for breakfast and a soup, no thank you. Give me my coffee, give me bacon, eggs, and toast all day. I'm not wanting soup. The other thing I wanted to talk about, what about Grandpa's mustache? Right? Have you ever seen a mustache like that? Can you imagine it's tickling his nose all day? And Grandma's ears, all the hair out of there? Somebody needs to take care of that. But at least you couldn't hear the snoring, so there's a plus. All right, let's get started. The poems we're going to talk about today are acrostic poems, which you're probably familiar with. You can probably remember doing them in school, in class, maybe during holiday times, maybe not, and that's fine. The other one we're going to learn about is a limerick, and limericks are super fun. But before we dive into those, let's talk about some misconceptions, some things that you might think about poetry that might be wrong. So here's the deal. All poems do not have to rhyme. Some do rhyme, but they do not have to rhyme to be a poem. Poetry does not have to be boring. I know that sometimes when we start to learn about this, we're like, poetry, who wants to learn about poetry? Guys, it can be so much fun, and it also doesn't have to be hard or difficult. Poems can be easy and fun. I don't want you to think they're always so difficult to understand. All right, so let's get started. The first one I want to talk about is what we call an acrostic poem. Acrostic poems, it's a funny word, but acrostic poems are just poems that use the first letter of whatever word you want. And a lot of times it's used to describe things. Your activity for this later is going to make an acrostic poem out of the word summer. I don't want to give anything away because I want everybody to come up with their own acrostic poem about summer, because what you think about summer might be different than what somebody else thinks about summer. What I think about summer might be different from what you think about summer. So I'm going to save that for you to do tomorrow, but today we're going to practice writing acrostic poems out of your name. This is something maybe you've done, but I'm going to show you how to do it today. So my name is obviously Miss Smallman, but we're going to use my first name, Sandy, S-A-N-D-I. So when I write my acrostic poem, I'm going to think about words that describe me and who I am. Maybe I might throw in a silly word. Maybe some will be serious. But all of the words that I use in my acrostic are about me. So let's start with the first letter of my name. It's an S, Sandy. So I was thinking about all kinds of words. Smart, that's good. I mean, I like to consider myself smart, but I thought of another S word that kind of describes me even better. Sassy. I can be a little sassy sometimes. So my first word in my acrostic for S is sassy. And that does make me think of those of you who are TikTok fans. Have you been watching that? It reminds me of that song. Okay, but let's not get off on that. The next letter is A. Lots of words. The one I thought of that kind of describes me is I am able. Able starts with A. I am able to do a lot of things. Anything I put my mind to, just as you boys and girls are also. The next letter is N. I consider myself, this one was pretty easy for me, a no-nonsense kind of person. Just give it to me straight. I'm a straight shooter. No nonsense. Okay, the next letter is D. I decided to go with dedicated. When I do something, I dedicate myself and I make sure I see it all the way through. And the last letter is I. You know, I told you I didn't use smart for the first one, even though I do consider myself to be a smart cookie. For I chose to go with intelligent. I feel that I am an intelligent person. So that is my acrostic. Sassy, able, no nonsense, dedicated, and intelligent. Now I want you to create your own acrostic poem using the first letters of your first name. Be creative. If you're having a hard time thinking about a word that you can use to describe you, an adjective, and we're going to learn more about those on Wednesday, but you can always go to Google and type in adjectives that start with whatever letter you're looking for, and then Google will help you come up with a word that might describe you. All right. Also, please bring these poems that you are writing to maybe share with us on our Zoom on Thursday. You don't have to, but if you want to bring it to share, that'd be great. Or you can send me a picture of it. You can text me a picture of it. You can email me a picture of it. I can't wait to see your acrostic poems. All right, the other one I told you we were going to learn more about is the limerick. Limericks are typically fun, silly poems. And this is a type of poem that does rhyme. Remember, not all poems have to rhyme, but a limerick does rhyme. And they follow a special pattern with their rhyming. So when you write this, your first and second line will rhyme. Your first and third rhyme will rhyme, and your second and fourth line will rhyme. Your fifth line will go with your first. So I'm going to give you an example right now. I wrote it about me, and it's silly because they can be. And sometimes, I told you poetry, sometimes we can think it can be hard, and it doesn't have to be. I think I overthought this a little bit, but then I just started to go with it. Just have fun, be silly. Okay, so here we go. This is a 5-line poem. And just to remind us, the first, the third, and the fifth line will all end in a rhyming word. And our second and our fourth line will also end in a rhyming word. Okay, remember, rhyming words are words that have the same ending sound. So the beginning will sound different, but the ending will sound similar. So here's mine. There was a teacher named Sandy. That's me. She worked at Langston Chapel. That teacher, she sure was dandy. One day she ate an apple, but all she wanted was candy. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at our rhymes. The first line ended in Sandy, the third ended in dandy, and the fifth ended in candy, all rhyming words. And then the second line ended in chapel, and the fourth one ended in apple. Again, they rhyme. Does this make a whole bunch of sense? Not really, except for the fact I would absolutely take candy over an apple. Those of you who know me know I'm a candy girl, not really a fruit girl. So what I want you to do is, on a piece of paper, I want you to think about you and write your own limerick. Silly? Should be silly. Let it be silly. Have fun with it. 5 lines. Remember, line 1, line 3, and line 5 will rhyme. And line 2 and 4 will rhyme. And again, I cannot wait to hear your limericks about yourself. So you can bring this to our Zoom on Thursday, or email me, take a picture, call me, and tell me your limerick and your acrostic. I cannot wait to hear it. Tomorrow, what you're going to do is you're going to take all of this that you've learned today about these 2 types of poems, and you are going to be creating more acrostic and limerick poems about the summer. So when you are doing your acrostic, you're going to write the word summer down the side of your paper, or you can choose to use the piece of paper in your resource bag that already has summer written down the side of it. And you can think of words that start with those letters that remind you or describe summer. If you think of more than one S that reminds you of summer, you can write them all down the line. So for example, when I think of summer, there's a lot of S words I think of. So I'm going to go ahead and give you some hints on that. Maybe sun, sand, sandcastle, sunscreen. All of those words remind me of summer. So you could write all 4 of those words or more, or just one. That's up to you. So you will be writing an acrostic about summer, but also a limerick about summer. And I'm not going to give any of that away. I want you to create your own. Be creative, have fun. And remember, tomorrow, when you are writing your poems, come back to these links, watch them. Watch them again if you need a little more help. And also, you're going to have a fun video for you to watch when you're doing your poems by yourself. So have fun. Enjoy it and be silly. See you later, guys. Bye.